Hello, and welcome everyone to another day of NGS action. I'm still trying to get my setup completely going. The table I wanted to order did not make its way in, so if it's a bit scuffed today, that is why. But either way, we are here with game 1 between Magnitude, Epicenter, and Gen.M Esports. Now, everyone quickly join the lobby, so I'm going to rush a little bit through this intro, but this is a game that's going to have some pretty big implications for the playoff run. Now, if we take a look over at the standings as it goes through. Now, for Magnitude Epicenter, this game somewhat matters, but not really. They are going to be either 5th or 6th place, no matter what. But if they win at least one map, I believe they are guaranteed 5th. But Gen.M Esports, currently one game behind. They are in 9th place. They need to win if they want to make it into that top 8. But as I say that, it looks like a second the lobby was made, they are heading into game. But to kind of keep talking about that a little bit more, both these teams are for Gen.M Esports, this game matters so much. If they want to make it into the playoffs, they really need to push forward. They need to try and get as many map wins as possible. Now, they definitely still have a solid chance of making it. So it's not that they're like really struggling to keep up, but currently they are 1 point behind 8th place, but they still have 2 games left this season, whereas almost everyone else will only have the 1. But now the draft has already begun. We've already gotten the first few bans coming out, as Gen.M will ban away the Greymane, and Magnitude Epicenter is going to be banning away the Joanna and the Dehaka to follow. Now Sonya's going to be the final ban coming out of Gen.M Esports, at least for the first phase of bans. But should be a pretty interesting draft this time around now. It is Tomb of the Spider Queen, by the way. That is our first map, and I'll verbally just say the map bans, but it was Volskaya and Braxis banned by Magnitude Epicenter, and Cursed Hollow and Alterac Pass banned by Gen.M Esports. So should be a pretty good one. They did ban a lot of those 2-lane maps, but Stitch's first pick for Bones. Now we know Bones loves the Stitches, plays it a lot, and we know a lot of the picks that they do like on Magnitude Epicenter are really good with it. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Tacitor locked in here. I have a feeling I'm gearing up for a green screen. I'm actually not. This isn't even the room I'll be using. I have considered it before, but I don't like green screens. I can actually set one up as well if I really wanted to, but either way. Stukov is going to get locked in for Patience, as Varian is going to get locked in for Cawthon. But, okay, so that's not the Tacitor I was expecting, but it is going to be the Azmodan from MDC and the Sylvanas for Delta Sniper. So pretty interesting to see that they are going to pick both of their carries this early on in that first phase. I'm still trying to center myself on this thing. It's hard. I don't even have a way to like sit on the floor properly. But, I mean, it already shows they just kind of want to split push and push as hard as possible. Azmodan and Sylvanas both incredibly good at just pushing through a lane, getting those structures down. Team fights might be a bit harder, but neither side really likes to team fight. Stitches wants to hook someone out, pick him off that way, and then Varian Stukov combo, very simple, just jumps on one, taunt, burst, call it a day. But Blaze will be the ban for Magnitude Epicenter, and Oriel will be the ban for Gen.M Esports for that phase 2. Now it is going to be Gen.M picking the next 2. And if they are doing a burst comp, I would expect to see some, at least one burst mage locked in for them. Now they do lock in the Leoric for Leo Rice and Falstad for Infofox. Infofox? Yeah, it is Infofox. But, so pretty interesting for me. Now Falstad could be an auto attack one, so I'm not going to be expecting the burst damage coming in from there. And for Tomb of the Spider Queen, it is very good to have that frequent flyer talent. So I don't expect the hammering build, though. If it is the hammering build, that could be the burst damage they need, but I'm assuming Kobo will be getting that final bit of burst. But the team fight now starting to come through from Magnitude Epicenter. They have the Thrall for Clownface and the Uther for Mac Daddio, both incredibly proficient team fights, and a lot of damage on the side of Magnitude Epicenter. But I really like the Thrall Uther pick, because if it was Thrall just with Sylvanas, Azmodan, and like any other healer, they would definitely be lacking a lot of frontline, especially since Stitches likes playing on weird angles. But Uther can frontline for them. A Zagger locked in for Kobo. Okay. So we are going to have a little bit of an interesting draft phase coming through here. But it's going to be interesting because Azmodan and Sylvanas can push in pretty hard in any of these lanes, but Zagger is going to be really good at defending it. It's going to be really good at standing in the right place, just holding down a lane in its entirety. And even Sylvanas and Azmodan are going to struggle pushing in, but either way, the drafts are done. It's time to gear up and head into game number 1. There we go. Now we're in game. I apologize for that, but first blood is going to be coming through. Kobo actually going to get hooked by Bones. And I did say this was going to be scuffed. I have a very different setup now compared to before. I apologize for that. But either way, they are still grouping into the mid lane. Leo Rice starting to walk up a little bit forward, getting hit by the Shadow Dagger. As neither side going to be going forward. Another hook will land on a Patience, and this could be someone. And with the Hammer of Justice, they will be able to get the kill. But yeah, with that, I'm pretty sure none of you heard anything I've been saying earlier, but what I was talking about is going to be the different team compositions that both these two teams picked. Magnitude Epicenter has a little bit more team fight and has some push, but Gen.M Esports, I think they have a slightly better pick-off composition, though. Obviously, at this point, Magnitude Epicenter are already getting 2 kills for themselves. As now, Leo Rice going to be just pushing in bottom, and it's interesting that they did bring MDC down to the bot lane. It's going to be the Asthma down, kind of off lane for now. I think it does make a lot of sense. Clownface is going to be able to clear out these bruiser camps quite a bit quicker than the Asthma down would be able to. But Infofox already going to get started over on the siege camp over in the bottom lane, as Delta Sniper and Bones just going to be pushing out through the side. And MDC even kind of double soaking, as I should check. It is going to be Gluttony. So it looks like it is going to be more of a team fight oriented build coming out of MDC for the Asmodan, at least early on. But Leo Rice looking for the Drain Hope, not going to be able to land it. But now they have the Hammer of Justice. Leo Rice has to jump away with the Wraithwalk. I don't think they were really in any danger of going down, but could have been a bad spot otherwise. But level 4 is still not up. Now it's going to be there for Gen.M Esports, but they have the stun on the 2 Patients already at half HP. Lots of poke over the wall. And now the Shadow Dagger also splitting off, dealing even more damage to that backline. But with this Bruiser Camp, they're getting a very solid push. They're going to take down this mid lane wall, but it seems they will have to back up with the hook. Does that on the Infofox, but with the barrel roll, will be able to get back to safety. But that's still a very solid push, very solid lead already for Magnitude Epicenter. Not half a level, but I'm actually surprised that they don't have a bigger experience level. I guess they did lose the middle camp there, and they did get pushed in, because MDC is pretty good at pushing, as the taunt does land over the backline. Cawthon looking towards Bones. Clownface taking a decent amount of damage as well, but it actually seems like Gen.M Esports were on the losing end of that fight, as the hook will land on a Cawthon, but not the target they want. It's one of the few targets that can safely be hooked, at least to some extent. There will definitely be moments where it isn't safe, but for the most part, that is who you want to get hooked if someone does have to get hooked on the side of Gen.M Esports. But now they're going to start getting their turn-ins. Neither side has enough to get the Web Weaver spawned yet, but they are going to be working towards it, as the Leo Rice fighting with MDC. Leo Rice just trying to zone away MDC. Force a little bit of poke damage towards here. But now they do have the taunt. It is on the Bones. They do have the silence as well. Lots of damage, but Mac Daddio is here to prevent the kill going forward. But that's still a lot of poke damage for the main tank. Will buy a little bit of space, but now they have the stun. A little bit of poke on a Cawthon. The Howling Wave not going to deal too much damage from Delta Sniper, but will provide a little bit of extra pressure. Now both sides, they are pretty even in terms of gems. Magnitude Epicenter does have a couple more, but it's 30 turned into 31. But now a bit of a team fight starting on the top side. They're looking towards Cawthon. And with all the slows and all the poke damage, Howling Wave as well. And the hook actually going to land on the Patience. That might even be a better target. But now Clownface starting to get low. Same with Bones. They're going forward. They have the Hand of Justice. And Clownface gets taken out real low. But the healing coming up from Mac Daddio just in time. But the pressure on the top side definitely still favoring Gen.M Esports. And they just need to get 9 gems turned in. And neither one has enough on their own. They will need 2 people for the turn-in. Patience will get 8, and Kobo should be able to get the final 1, as they're also able to get the kill on the Thrall in the bot lane. Now, Gen.M Esports, they were behind, but look at this. They have the level advantage. They have the waves pushing in. Now they also have the taunt on Mac Daddio, and with the Hammerang, a couple more hits, one more auto, not enough. 90 HP. Still going to be left on Mac Daddio. And I haven't actually paid attention, but it is the Gathering Storm. It is going to be the Hammerang build coming out of Infofox. Now the Web Weavers are here. They can start pushing. Now the level lead did drop a little bit just because there was a lot of waves pushing in that Magnitude Epicenter just haven't been able to soak up yet. But they did collect them. But either way, the structures are going to start getting damaged as Infofox forced to use the barrel roll to get back to safety. Lurking Arm buying a lot of space in zoning away Magnitude Epicenter. as the mid lane wall not going to get taken down, but the bot lane, that's where the real push is happening right now. Leo Rice able to take down the entire wall and maybe even get a little bit of poke damage onto this fort. I don't just expect too much damage, maybe just one little wave, and that'll be that. An extra auto as well on the top side. Still not too much damage, but overall good push as now they're looking towards MDC. They have the taunt as well, but no follow-up. All the spells have already been used. The hook just going to get sidestepped by InfoFox. Level 929, and now Magnitude Epicenter, they could turn in themselves. MDC could turn in alone, as we're already at 80 stacks of Gluttony, by the way. So MDC is stacking up decently quick. I've seen some ridiculously quick stacks from an Asmodan before, and it was on this map, I believe. Already hit fully 200 at around the 5-minute mark, but that was insane. What MDC is doing right now is still pretty solid pace. But now MDC trying to push away this bot lane. And again, Leo Rice punishing MDC every single time. As now they are pushing the top side. They've already used the black arrows trying to clear the wall. But now they're looking towards Delta Sniper. But they're going to get the taunt instead onto Bones. As they do back away. The Web Weavers are pushing out. They have one at the top side. But that's going to get cleared away. And the one in the mid lane, it's into a bruiser camp. It's so much harder to get any kind of significant push into the bruisers. Now, top side does get cleared. And most of this damage was done before the Web Weavers. But now, how much can they get in the mid lane? They're actually going to be able to use their level 10s. They're looking for the team fight. They have the mind control as well, but the Gus going to push them away to the back line. As InfoFox starting to get low, but now because of that Gus, they're surrounded. Now the Earthquake keeping them from moving around, and it's going to be the 1-for-0. They have the root on to Patience as well. Patience taking a lot of damage, but will be able to back away to safety. So 1-for-0 is now Cawthon, also in the back line, will get hooked back, make that a 2-for-0. And look at the damage they got onto this mid lane fort. Now they're going to be able to keep pressing forward. They have the black arrows, and it is going to be that demonic invasion from MDC, by the way. So kind of a mix of both structural and teamfight damage with these talent choices coming out of MDC. But, I mean, right now, that push definitely worked. They got the first major structure of the game. They're going to have that passive push in the mid lane. But they still have the Entomb available for Leo Rice. But again, with no follow-up there, I don't think Leo Rice can solo kill MDC. Not when the Asmodan's at full HP, but otherwise can threaten. And if Leo Rice keeps kind of picking off MDC going between lanes, because it is harder to double soak on that Asmodan. MDC's been doing their best, but only so much you can do on that character. But that's not why they picked the Asmodan to begin with. Now the Bruiser Camp is going to get locked in again by Magnitude Epicenter, as InfoFox going to be taking away the Siege Camp in this bottom lane for Gen.M Esports. Now Leo Rice was trying to turn in, had 24 gems, could be a juicy target to take off early, but they're not going to be able to find this Leoric quite yet. They will find, however, a little bit of a push in the bot lane, but the Siege Camp going to slow it down a little bit. But they have the stun on Leo Rice. They're still looking for more. And now the Entomb will land, but it's only going to find Bones. And now Demonic Invasion going to be hitting all of them. The Earthquake as well, just slowing everyone in the fight. The hook onto Patience and the Gorge. And now Clownface going to get Gus into the backline. Delta Sniper and MDC at the same time getting separated. And it is going to be Patience going down first, as the rest of the team just going to back away for Gen.M Esports. Very close fight, and the Maw landed onto 2 as well. It had Delta Sniper, it had Clownface. 2 of their main DPSs getting taken out of the fight early. As now the hook's not going to land onto InfoFox, but they will be able to get turn-in. And with Bones 26, I hesitate to do math on stream, and yeah, just slightly low. Mac Daddio also going to have to get that turn-in, but they have their level 13 talents. They have the push starting in the bottom lane. Black arrows as well. Mind control. Going to be able to get some good damage, and they will be able to take down the Falstad. And now with that, they should have a pretty free push to the bot lane. They're already looking for the walls. They have the black arrows, and the Web Weavers are on their way. Now MDC might be in a bad spot as well. Will get found. Will get taunted. Lots of burst damage coming through from both Kobo and from Cawthon. And now they're still looking forward. But now Kobo actually getting taken down pretty low, but one final hit, and they will be able to get a pick off in the top lane. But the real push is happening here in the bot lane. Magnitude Epicenter already going to finish off this bottom fort, and they already had the fort advantage before this. And now they can continue pushing. This Web Weaver is still healthy. It is 4v5 on the map, but I think when you have the objective, when you have the Web Weaver pushing on the top side, you have one helping push in mid, you can definitely buy a bit more space. And then InfoFox going to get taken down a little bit. And now the mind control will land with the Gorge as well. And they're bringing Leo Rice into the back lane. But with the Gus, they will be okay. Maw forced out as well, just for one heroic from Magnitude Epicenter. Make that 2, I guess, if you do count the mind control, but it is still going to result in a bit of a push and a little bit of damage over towards this mid lane wall as well, just passively from this Web Weaver. It will get finished off before that next little burst wave can come through, but Demonic Invasion going to get used in the top lane, and they should be able to finish off this structure, but the team fight could break through after. Leo Rice is going to be here, looks for the Entomb, only going to be able to find it onto Bones, and Bones is stuck through. Mind Control does land, but now the D-Shield is going to be there, going to be able to protect their stitches, but Leo Rice is still low, and the hook will land, and Leo Rice will go down. But it looks like it's not over. They're looking for more patience. Going to use the swipes to cancel the team fight, but every single time, like I said, both these two compositions, they want to find one target and they want to blow them up. But one side has D-Shield and the other does not. And I think that's what really makes a big difference. First of all, the second part is the hook also changes the positioning. So right now with Gen.M Esports, they do land the taunt, and it's definitely easier to land the taunt for Cawthon. But if they are able to land the hook from Bones, it definitely changes the dynamics of the fight quite a bit more, as they do hook onto the Bruiser. And actually will help finish it off for Gen.M Esports, as they will be able to secure their own Bruiser camp. However, this time around, Magnitude Epicenter will be able to secure the Siege camp. I believe that has been fully secured by Gen.M Esports this game. This will be the first time Magnitude Epicenter will be able to take it for themselves. But they have a pretty solid advantage on the map right now. Only half a level up, a little bit more, which, considering the state of the map, considering it's 7-2 in kills, 3/4 down, and they don't have more than half a level, it is a testament to how well Gen.M Esports have been soaking up the map, how well they've been getting all that experience for themselves. But a lead is still a lead, and most importantly, the 3/4 are still down for Magnitude and Gen.M Esports. They don't have a passive push anywhere. They have to constantly make sure to keep those waves alive. And this is the kind of map that kind of does get won early on. Now, it looks like there will be a trade going on the map right now. Gen.M Esports, they will be able to get Turner. They will be able to get the Web Weavers. However, Magnitude Epicenter, they're looking for the boss. They already burned the Demonic Invasion on it. And I don't think Gen.M Esports, they're not going to be able to contest it. They will be way too late. Now, the question is, which of these is more important? Now, it can be argued that it's good for Magnitude to let the Web Weavers get summoned when they know they have the advantage on the map, because they can let the Web Weavers spawn in much further into the lane. They can just burst them all down and not really take too much damage from it. Bones even just going to be soloing this one. Actually, never mind. MacDaddy will be helping. So the mid lane one will go down, same with the bot lane one, but the real damage is going to be coming through from this boss. It's not going to deal too much damage to the structures, but it will delay the Web Weaver in the top lane, and the walls, it got 0 damage in the bot lane. It got 0 value in the mid lane. And now in the top lane, it was able to slow down the boss, but that's really it, as the hook almost lands onto Leo Rice. Not going to be coming through in the end. But this is their only chance to get any value at all from the Web Weavers, as it is getting hit by the Globe of Annihilation as well. And now the taunt is coming through. Both sides kind of looking to maybe start a play. And now the hook is going to land, and that is the target. It's going to be onto InfoFox, and will get stunned up on the way out, as Leo Rice, also tanking right now, is getting healed up. Going to get taken a little bit low, but the Maw going to prevent any further follow-up. And again, that's just been the way every single fight's been going. Both sides are trying to find an angle. Bones lands a hook. Will take one, as Gen.M Esports have to use their abilities to be able to get away to safety. And now there's not much on the map for Magnitude Epicenter to take. They don't have turn, and they are pretty close. And they do have their Bruiser camp available, so they are going to be focused on that. But that was a very solid defense. They're not going to be... Gen.M Esports not going to be able to get too much for themselves with that objective take, as MDC going to be able to turn in more. They just need 5 more gems as a team, and then need to turn in the rest that they do have. And then they can get that next set of Web Weavers. Now, they don't have their level 20s yet, so they're not going to be at a talent advantage. But it's still a very solid position to be in for Magnitude Epicenter. But now Leo Rice, Cawthon, they're all starting to group up. It looks like they wanted to defend, but we're just a little bit late. And now the Web Weavers will be spawning, and they do have at least some of a Bruiser camp. I think it is mostly going to get cleared away by the time the Web Weaver does spawn. But as the hook, gonna go in between. Not going to be able to find out. But the Entomb, they found 2, and they found MDC, most importantly. And the D-Shield again going to be there. The cleanse as well. Bones is going to be left alive. Infofox has to back away. Doesn't have a lot of HP, but they do have the mod. They could try and burst on top of it. And Clownface is going to get taken down to half HP, but MacDaddy is there healing. And Cawthon is the one that's going to go down. Leo Rice down in the back line. And that's a 2-for-0 again in favor of Magnitude Epicenter. Now they've already burned all their heroics. They're not going to have Demonic Invasion for this push, but they can definitely get this keep the way things are going. MacDaddy going to be able to heal everyone back up to full. And now they can really start pushing. They have the black arrows as well, and they have their level 20s. I was talking about just taking the keep, but I think they can threaten the rest of the game. There's still a lot of time before then. As Delta Sniper also going to finish off the top lane keep as well. Final Globe of Annihilation going to be coming through. And now this is their opportunity. And now 4 seconds until Leo Rice. Leo Rice going to be there for the defense. Has the Entomb as well. As Kobe and Infofox are there. They've already taken out one of the Web Weavers. One is still available. And now with the Gust into the Entomb. And now they have the Slow. They have the Sound. Slurking on, buying a lot of space. And Cawthon is back alive. Everyone is low inside of Magnitude Epicenter. But can they find a target to finish them off? Infofox starting to get a little bit low. Trying to walk forward. Leo Rice gonna be walking in. They're finding a lot of space. But can Cawthon get the taunt? Just slightly out of range. But will be able to find Delta Sniper. But unfortunately, Unstoppable is there. And now they're finding Leo Rice on the back in the meanwhile. Make that a 1-for-0 in favor of Magnitude again. But now they have the Maw. And Infofax actually gets taken down. I believe that was Summer over there. Yeah, got gorged. And now the fight's coming through. D-Shield as well. Swipe. Not going to be able to buy enough space. It's a 3-for-0. And make that 4 as Patience should be going down here as well. Couple more autos for both sides. And the hook from both just for good measure. It's a 4-for-0 Magnitude Epicenter. They will be able to push this in. They will take down the core. And they will be able to win game number 1. Once they do get a little bit more damage on this core. But really well played by them. They knew they had to pick off team composition. And they were able to play it so well. And I think the Earthquake really removed a lot of the options that Gen.M Esports had. And yeah, like I said, I really like the draft from Magnitude Epicenter. I think that the mix of their push team comp with their pick-off options really helped them out a lot. They had the extra opportunity as... Oh, give me one sec. There we go. They had the opportunity to just find a hook. And if it didn't work, they can always just chuck the Earthquake. And it really prevented a lot of what Gen.M Esports wanted. And then the Earthquake paired with the D-Shield from MacDaddy just... It was so hard to play for Gen.M. I think if they needed to get going early, but giving up those 2 early kills, they were slow to hit their level 4, and without the early level 4, Cawthon never really able to come online. Just a very difficult draft to play under the circumstances, but that was still only game number 1. We're still going to have game 2. We're still going to have game 3, potentially, and we'll be back for that right after this break, so don't go anywhere. All right, and we are back for map number 2, Infernal Shrines. Now, like I was saying, Magnitude Epicenter, now that they got this win, they're done for the season before playoffs. Win or lose their game 2 and 3, they are 5th place in Division A. Mathematically, it can no longer move. It can no longer be changed. There's one team that can still tie them with points, assuming Magnitude loses every other game. And they win, and they get a domination. However, Magnitude has more dominations overall, so I believe they do win the tiebreaker. And now, with that being said, it still matters for Gen.M Esports. I think they still need one more win to tie 8th place while still having the same number of games. So if they're able to win even one of these maps, will be pretty big for them. But draft has already begun, as I should throw the predictions up. That might be an idea. But similar bans, it is going to be the Joanna and the Blaze, unfortunately, for Hoku, getting banned by Magnitude Epicenter. And the Stitches this time from Gen.M Esports, the respect ban towards Bones is going to be coming through there. And I don't think I'm surprised at all, because at the end of the day, everything that I was talking about with her team composition, it all stemmed from the Stitches. And the fact that they were so confident to first pick it really says a lot. And speaking of respect bans, there's the second, getting rid of that Uther. And again, Mac Daddy was just so annoying with that D shield and with that Hammer of Justice, just a bit too much to deal with. This is really going to force Magnitude Epicenter to play very differently. They're definitely going to have a completely different composition this time around. And it is going to start with a Stukov for Delta Sniper. Now, Delta Sniper does typically play the carry, but I do believe they are the Stukov player for the team. And what is interesting for me is I'm wondering what MacDaddy is going to be playing then. I'm trying to remember. I know MacDaddy can play some carries. I don't remember which. But yeah, we'll have to see. But next 2 picks going to be on the side of Gen.M Esports. And it's going to be the Tassadar and the Dahaka. Now, whenever there's Infernal Shrines, I always hope for the Hogger, and I always see the Dahaka. It's a sad life to live, but either way, Tassadar is a pretty interesting one. Going to get locked in for Kobo. And typically, I would say it's also a little bit of a ban pick in that it would block Delta Sniper from playing it. Delta Sniper really likes the Tassadar and is really proficient on it as well. But since Delta Sniper already locked in the Stukov, unlikely that would happen. However, Clownface logging in the Tychus and Bones going to be on the Garrosh. So again, they have a pretty solid team composition early on just from this first phase of picks. And Tychus really good on Infernal Shrines. Garrosh also really good at just finding those pickoffs and does scale well into those team fights later on as well. Now, Chromie is going to be the first ban, or the final ban from Gen.M Esports. And it does prevent even more playmaking. Both those slowing sands and the temporal loop really powerful once team fights come through. And same with Anduin. Has a lot of team fight ability. Going to get removed this time by Magnitude Epicenter. So we will be seeing some interesting healers coming out this time around. Stukov already locked in for Magnitude, but Gen.M Esports, they can pick something we haven't seen yet this series. Potentially something like the Rhaegar. Deckard Cain, I know, is pretty popular in Infernal Shrines, though I don't know how that will go with the rest of their team composition so far. And Brightwing. How did I forget about the Brightwing? Yeah, that was still available. But ETC going to get locked in for Cawthon and the Brightwing or Patience. Now, they don't really have a lot of mages on the side of Magnitude Epicenter. And one potential issue is that it is a little bit dangerous sometimes to use that phase shift into the Garrosh composition, but Sonya going to get locked in for MDC, and final pick there for Mac Daddio. I'm wondering what it's going to be. They probably do want another carry, most likely, and it's going to be the Kel'Thas. So they're going to have that extra burst damage. Now, it is a little bit harder to play into the Brightwing, just because it's, like the Fairy Dust is going to be adding a lot of spell armor. Could prevent the Pyroblast from being the heroic, but Phoenix is still going to be very powerful, still going to be able to zone completely. And Living Bomb, I've noticed this when I played Brightwing, it does cause positioning to be a little bit harder for the Brightwing. It's harder to use the blink heal when the Living Bomb is on a target or it's on you. It just adds one more thing to pay attention to. But final pick for Gen.M Esports, gonna be the Greymane. I really like the Greymane. I'm really hoping this is gonna be the Worgen build. And I think this is actually a pretty fantastic game for the Worgen build. It does. I say that and then I see the garage. Okay, so maybe not, but I think it could still be played depending on how they want to do it. So if they want to just dive forward, I think it's doable. But either way, we'll see. We're heading into game number 2. But before we do, a message from our sponsor. And that was Legend of Mushroom, the sponsor of today's stream, as we are in game number 2 on Infernal Shrines. Now, Legend of Mushroom, idle RPG game. Rub the lamp, get new gear, level up, and watch the numbers go up. If you want to help support the stream, just click the link, download and install on your phone, and that already will help out quite a bit. And if you want to play, go ahead. If you don't want to play, all power to you. But with that being said, we are in game number 2, Infernal Shrines. And Gen.M Esports, this game matters. Every single map matters to them. But should be pretty interesting watching them walk forward, as it is going to be 5 towards the mid lane for both sides, though MDC coming in from the top. Going to be 5 damage already for the Shockray, as Kobo does go the Shockray talent for level 1. Will add a little bit of that extra burst damage later on. And I haven't seen it, but it's actually going to be the Flask build, the Cocktail build coming through. But now they have the wall for Bones, but again, it is the Garrosh, tankier than it seems. When it's down to 1/3 HP, has the extra armor. But now the drag actually lands on a Mac Daniel with the Polymorph and Infofox. Gonna have more than enough damage to finish that off. And now Cawthon Wrecking Balled into the backline and gets body blocked. Bones playing that perfectly. Going to be a 1-for-1, everything said and done. However, Gen.M Esports going to be able to move across the map just that much faster. Then Fox trading a little bit with Bones. Wrecking Ball going to be used to bring him back forward. And Delta Sniper, again, going to take a little bit of damage just from that Shocker. Already at 20 stacks on Kobo. And now the face shift going to be used to heal up Infofox. But Magnitude Epicenter, they do have first move here in the bot lane. They're going to be able to get a bit of a bigger push. And they could start heading back to their siege camp. The ping's already pointed that way. As Cawthon actually going to be catching the mid lane. And Leo Rice going to brush Stalker all the way to the bottom. It looks like they want this siege camp. But I don't know if they needed to use the brush Stalker here. I'm guessing it's just for that extra defense. But it will give a little bit of extra push from Gen.M Esports. And now the Cocktail going to get tossed in again. I don't know. I'm still a little bit surprised to see that. I'm wondering if it is going to be just that backline dive. I could still see this turning into a Worgen build. Cocktail does commonly turn into that. But MDC, because they did use that Breaststalk again to the bot lane, going to be able to take down that cannon tower. And Leo Rice going to lose a little bit of soak. And now Bones still going to be able to walk forward as they are trying to zone them away from the siege camp. Level 4 is now on both teams. And the bot lane siege camp is already gone as Infofox still trying to catch the ones in the mid lane. They will be able to push Magnitude Epicenter off to the backline for now. But they do have first move looking for this. Bones looking for the Wrecking Ball over the wall and not going to be able to find Kobo. As now the Living Bomb going to be used to push the lane in. And Patience actually getting started on the camp is a little bit difficult. Infofox throwing the cocktails over the wall. I don't think it's been spotted yet by Magnitude Epicenter. But bit by bit, these Impalers are going down. But they are bringing all 5 members to the top lane. Leo Rice trading a little bit into MDC. Not going to be able to land the dragon. That might have been actually good for Leo Rice. Because I think if Leo Rice was trying to fight, would be a pretty difficult position for them. Now, Gen.M Esports did get their siege camp at the bottom lane. And now Magnitude Epicenter going to take their bruiser camp. And they will have first move onto the shrines. MDC already going to get started onto it. Level 7 still not up for either of these two teams. So it is just going to be the single town. But Mac Daniel getting jumped on, getting global. Will get saved. The face mount not going to be able to bring in enough damage. Now they do have the drag, but it is going to be onto the main tank. But it doesn't matter. When the entire team focuses together, they're going to be able to get that first kill. And it's a 1-0 in favor of Gen.M Esports. And now they will be able to clear off MDC from the shrines looking forward. And with the face mount, MDC gets pushed back further back. And now they have the drag onto Mac Daniel. A couple more hits and Mac Daniel will be gone. But Cawthon starting at pretty low, and MDC with the seismic slam. Gonna get that final hit, so it's another 1-for-1 trade. But the camp pushing in mid lane right now. The Impalers getting a little bit of damage over there, as the Bruiser camp that was up in the top lane for Magnitude Epicenter did get cleared away. It's 15-18 for Skeletons, but another drag lands onto MDC. They have the slow as Infofox gets sorted to the back line, and with the phase shift, it is going to come out in time. Patience able to keep them alive, as now MDC with into the fray. Gonna get saved, but Infofox rolls away to safety, and Kobo looking for the damage, Everyone is so low on Magnitude, but none of them go down. However, it does buy a lot of space for Gen.M Esports to keep hitting onto these Skeletons. 33-27. It's still close, slightly benefiting as Wrecking Ball gonna get used onto Cawthon. Already at half HP, make that a quarter. And now Spin to Win is coming through, but with the speed boost, will be able to back away. And now it's still so close. Either team could get this Arcane Punisher. They're still fighting for position. They're fighting for these lane assignments. And now the Force Wall gonna buy a little bit of space, but they're finding one, and the Power Slide will take down MDC. And now this could have finally broken. Clownface gonna get taken down. Bones as well. Looking for the play, but not gonna be able to find it. And the Arcane Punisher will get taken by Gen.M Esports. And now they're gonna start pushing out this top lane. And everyone's already low, and actually the amount of damage, Infofox jumping into the back line, gonna be able to take down Bones. And now they're getting so much value from this Arcane Punisher. They already have the wall. They're looking for this fort, and with Infofox just kind of zoning everyone away, I don't think Magnitude Epicenter can do anything about it. I think this is just going to go down, and this is a massive lead already. A level and a half for Gen.M Esports, as they got a push in the mid lane as well during all that. Lots of missed soak. Just an absolutely massive play coming out of Gen.M Esports. And I said they already got a lot of damage over in the mid lane, but they're going to get more because Magnitude Epicenter, they still have to deal with the push on the top side. And they get in their move. They're going to take down the entire wall with the Shockray over top onto the wave just to help push it in. Bones looking for a potential play, but again, they're just Gen.M Esports. They're already gone. They're already back to safety. And level 10 about to get hit for Gen.M Esports. And there it is. They have their heroics. And I am looking to see what they do take for Infofox. But now they're looking to go forward. They're looking for the siege camp. And Bones just going to toss Cawthon away, as they will be able to take it safely. It is the Cursed Bullet. MacDaddio starting to get taken down. And with the end of the frame, MacDaddio will be safe. And now they do have the Mosh Pit just zoning everyone away. Bones is going to be dancing, but is buying a lot of time. Cawthon going to get taken down quite slow. 160 HP. But it will be Bones going down. It's going to be the 1-for-0 for Gen.M Esports. But again, MDCs will have the push on the top lane. A double wave crashing into this wall. It will do quite a bit of damage over to these structures. Might even be able to take down this entire top wall just with that. However, the bot lane wall for Gen.M Esports, that's where the real pressure is coming through. They're going to trade for that wall. They already used the Brush Stalker to get back to the top lane. This is now with the... I always forget what that ability is called. But I always call it the Cyclone. I believe that is the Gravity Lapse. There we go. I know it's something like that. But either way, they will finish off most of the wall on the side of Gen.M Esports. They will take the siege camp in the bot lane as well. And now they can go back and take their bruiser camp. I don't think they actually even got their bruiser camp yet this game. Already 7 minutes in, but that's because they've had stuff that's just better to get. They got the wall in the mid lane. They got most of the wall in the bot lane. They got the entire fort in the top side. However, this map, compared to Tomb of the Spider Queen, it is less snowbally. It does offer more opportunities for the team that's behind to fight. But that being said, the lead that's already been built by Gen.M Esports is definitely higher than anything Magnitude Epicenter had in the last game, up to the moment where they pushed in for the end. That was the moment where Magnitude Epicenter also had the level and a half lead. That is something to keep track of. Now, Gen.M Esports, they are just grouping up towards the mid lane. Next Punisher will be there. It is going to be that Frozen Punisher. And this fort did take a little bit of damage. There is no wall. So if Gen.M Esports will be able to take this Punisher, they should be able to take down the mid lane fort as well. Now the Shrine is going to be active in 30 seconds. But Magnitude Epicenter, they're clearing away this bottom lane. And Infofox is still here, but not going to be moving forward, obviously. Could be a very dangerous spot, but Clownface will be able to ping it away. Ping Infofox out. We'll get the dismount, but now Cawthon looking for the backline as well. Not going to be able to find it. The power slide not going to land onto anyone. As in the top side, MDC and Leo Rice just trying to push into each other. And with the Bruiser Camp help, Leo Rice could be okay, but MDC actually getting a lot of damage into the back line. And this time, level 10 is up for Magnitude Epicenter, and they have a lot of heroics. They're going to have the Warlord's Challenge. They're going to have the Leap. They're going to have Odin, and it actually is going to be the Phoenix. I was going to say the Fire Blast, but that is the Phoenix Cyclone. I'm slowly learning them. But first move is going to be for Gen.M Esports. They are grouping together. Odin already popped. Bones on the backline looking for a play. Phoenix is there as well. Black Hole has already been pushed. Cawthon is going to be the one in the backline. Leap as well, but Patience is there. And it's actually going to be Bones the first to go down. And now Leo Rice still looking to the backline, looking for more. Was aiming for the Dragon on MDC. Ancient Spear will land instead. As now McDaniel getting jumped by InfoFox. Not going to be able to go down. And Cawthon with the face melt going to be able to deal a bit more damage to McDaddio. But that will be it for the play. Gen.M Esports, they have full control of this shrine. They should be able to take it for themselves. The Odin has already expired, so it's just going to be even more opportunity for Gen.M Esports. Gravity Lapse is going to land. Cawthon going to take a little bit of damage, but again, I don't think they really care as the Shock Ray going to land on Cloudface. And Leo Rice is here in the backline. We'll find the Dragon actually on a Delta Sniper. Leo Rice is going to get stunned up, and now the Mosh Pit on a 2. MDC going to cancel it immediately. And now the Warlord's Challenge as well, but the Phase Shift gonna keep Cawthon alive. No one's gonna go down somehow during all that play, but lots of opportunity there for the fight. Level 13's now gonna be available for Magnitude Epicenter as the Frozen Punisher is still gonna be pushing into their mid lane. And now they're looking for the back lane. They're actually able to defend a little bit. Kobo actually getting taken down quite low, but the healing from Patience is gonna be there to keep them alive. And they're zoning away Gen.M Esports pretty well right now from this mid lane fort. I think it will still go down as the Punisher going to do its second jump onto the back line. But I don't think they'll be able to get too much more. Cloudface going to dodge away from anything from the Frozen Punisher as it will go down. As now Kobo does get hit, but with the cleanse coming out of Patience, that Soothing Mist there in time to keep Kobo alive. But in the meanwhile, Siege Camp does get taken by MDC. We'll have a bit of a push in the bot lane. But again, look at this top lane in the meanwhile. 2 cannons just hitting onto these structures. We do see another Siege Camp going down in the bot lane. And MDC will be here to clear out the rest. But that's still a good chunk of this wall getting taken down. And now Gen.M Esports, they're prepping for their next push. They already have mid lane. They already have top lane. So they need to get the bot lane. They are in even towns for now, but level 16 right on the horizon for Gen.M Esports. If they can just get a little bit more push or even just wait for the passive XP. And there it is. Level 16s are going to be available now. And that's going to be quite a bit more damage. The Thermal Lance, especially onto the Garage, going to increase the damage a lot. The initial burst, but they're not able to keep pushing Magnitude Epicenter, but they do have pretty good wave clear. So even with the talent advantage, it is hard for Gen.M Esports to play forward. One thing their team does lack a little bit is an ability to start fights when the other team isn't trying to position to start a fight as well. ETC does lack a little bit of range without stage dive, and no one else on the team can really start fights without a good flank. So if Magnitude Epicenter plays back, they play safe. They have a lot of wave clear between McDaddio and Clownface. So if they don't want to fight to start, they can prevent it to some extent. And I think that's kind of how they were able to hold on to that mid lane fort for so long. But right now, things are going to be slowly but surely changing as the overkill going to be used for Clownface just to dismount both Cawthon and Kobo. But again, the wave's still going to be getting shoved in passively. It is mostly just Leo Rice trading with MDC in the top side. Other than that, no one's really fighting each other right now. Leo Rice has the push potential, has InfoFox nearby as well. It is 3 members in the bot lane for Gen.M Esports, while Magnitude Epicenter, they are sending in 4 for this defense. InfoFox going to be able to clear away this mid lane. And now a little bit of damage from the minions, not too much onto the wall, but it does force McDaddio to have to show on the mid lane, and will be a bit more difficult. And now Gen.M Esports, with that, they will be able to just take this extra Impaler camp. It will help grow their lead already. I believe that will get cleared pretty easily, but again, it's just adding more and more pressure. Magnitude Epicenter, they can't just ignore it. They have to go deal with it. And now the Bruiser camps are both still up. The Shrine will be active in 20 seconds as InfoFox gonna be soloing this Bruiser camp in the top right. But no one's really rotated yet for that top left camp. As Cawthon gonna get spotted out. Bones gonna use the Wreck Ball into the backline. They have the Gravity Lapse, not gonna be able to find it with the taunt. they have more than enough damage to burst down the ETC. And that's a perfect time to kill the main tank. The Shrine just gonna activate now, and now they're looking for all of these skeletons. It does take a little bit of time before they are able to take it for themselves, but it is something that they are more than able to do. As I do apologize, I am getting a little bit of lag. I believe that is due to the Wi-Fi, but I think it's okay for now. But right now, while they are taking those skeletons, they will get the Punisher, no question about that. But what are they going to lose on the top side for that? They have the Bruiser Camp. They have 2 Bruiser Camps actually pushing on the top side. Gen.M Esports, they're looking for this top lane keep. As now MDC's here, Clownface is here, but I think it's a little bit too late. With all these Bruiser Camps, with these cannons, they will lose their top keep as a trade for the Mortar Punisher. And I think Gen.M Esports, they're more than happy to take that trade. Such a good positioning for them. And now they're gonna have the push of the bot lane. I believe they should be able to at least take this fort. So they will get at least some structures for this. But even then, it's so hard for them to walk up right now. If they have Living Bomb, they will be able to get a bit of damage now. They have Lurking Arm as well, just buying even more space. But the Wrecking Ball not going to be found. Level 20 still not there for Gen.M Esports, so they are on an even talent here. This is an opportunity for them to start a fight if they want it. They do have 4 members here. Odin gonna get popped as well, and the Mortar Punisher really good at taking down these structures. Gonna leap into the back line, and so much damage. Kobo actually almost gets burst down by the Punisher and the Lurking Arm. And now this is their opportunity to try and trade back for this keep. If they are able to get it, then it will be a nice even trade. And doesn't look like they will be able to secure it overall, but it is still going to be a good trade overall. But now Leo Rice maybe going a little bit too far up. Not going to find the drag. The swipes going to buy enough space. And Magnitude Epicenter will be able to back away. And they got pretty good value out of that Punisher as well. They didn't get their level 20s. They're still going to be behind. And there will still be a power play for Gen.M Esports. But they got a good chunk of damage over in this bot lane. They got the bot lane wall into the fort, into the second wall, and even a little bit of poke damage onto that bot lane keep. But now Gen.M Esports, they will be taking their siege camp over in this bot lane. And with their level 20s, they are basically allowed free reign onto this map. But right now, Curse the Bullet gonna land onto Bones. Not gonna be able to accomplish too much more with that, as this Impaler camp is gonna get cleared away pretty quickly. Not surprising. At this late into the game, they're able to just absolutely burst it down, no questions asked. But the real push happening right now in the mid lane, they have a double wave starting to go there, but MDC and Bones, they're both gonna be here. They should be able to clear this away. Seismic Slam, very good at helping clear away. And now again, the second siege camp also going to be available for Gen.M Esports. And Magnitude Epicenter, they don't want to fight this. They don't have the level 20s. They're just trying to buy time, soak up, keep their structures alive, as they're able to actually get pretty good damage on Infofox. But now they have the drag and the polymorph. So much damage happening. And now they're able to pull one Warlord challenge. Not going to be able to land. Leo Rice going to get stunned up and actually gets taken down quite low into that Lurking Arm. Just keeps pushing them back into it. But again, level 20 still not there for Magnitude Epicenter. And now they've used quite a few heroics for that play. Now the drag does land for McDaddio, but the Groundbreaker going to be able to keep McDaddio alive. Going to be able to cancel that drag coming through from Leo Rice. And they're able to clear another wave. They're able to stay alive even longer. MDC still running around trying to collect all that soak across the map. They're so close to level 20. As now Cosmo looking forward. Not going to get hit by the Gravity Lapse or the Groundbreaker. That speed boost from Patience going to be able to keep them safe and keep them alive. As now, one more wave gonna get cleared away. And with that, I think they will be fine. They have their level 20s, but the top lane and mid lane are still going to be pushing in for them. And now Leo Rice looking for the drag, but the swipes coming through immediately from Delta Sniper. Very, very good reflexes. And this fort does stay alive just for a little bit longer. And it's important to note because this is passive pressure that Magnitude Epicenter do get in their bot lane. This also means that if they do lose this fort, they will be okay. They will still have at least an even pressure. And Leo Rice going to be able to clear it out now. But, I mean, it's not the worst for Magnitude Epicenter. They managed to safely get level 20s. They were able to defend onto that bot lane fort for so long. Now, their top lane is getting shoved in. And the Punisher, the Shrine at least, has already started. They're already at 13 skeletons on the side of Gen.M Esports. And now Odin going to get popped. And this is where the team fight could begin. And Magnitude Epicenter, they need to win this fight. Leap into the backline, finds 3, and now the Lurking Arm and Phoenix Look at that wombo. They're able to get one. They're able to get two. And now just Leo Rice still standing in the back line, but that's a 2-for-0. Absolutely massive pickoff right now from Magnitude Epicenter. And I said they needed to win a team fight to be able to hold on, and that's exactly what they did. But now can they get the skeletons? Leo Rice trying to buy a little bit of space, but the swipe from Delta Sniper going to prevent it. So that will be the Arcane Punisher spawn, or is it the Arcane? Yeah, Arcane Punisher spawning in the mid lane for Magnitude Epicenter. And now they can try taking this fort as well. And they can try, once again, evening out the map state more and more. And I don't think they'll be able to end the game here, obviously. They still have a lot of structures to push through. But even just getting the game back into a state where they can fight on an even ground, where they don't need to worry about their lanes getting passively pushed in, it will open up so much more opportunity for them. But what an insane team fight from Magnitude Epicenter. And now this is where things will get more and more difficult for Gen.M Esports. They will lose their mid lane fort, and the Punisher is still decently healthy, still at 63%. But now all 5 members are up for Gen.M Esports, but the Arcane Punisher also going to try and jump onto the backline. Will hit Leo Rice, and now the leap over top. Gravity Lapse as well, but MDC going to get traded back. It's 1-for-1. Black Hole as well, going to catch onto 2. And the Arcane Punisher will get taken down, as it is 4-for-4. Or 4-on-4 still left on the map. There is still the passive push happening in the bot lane for Gen.M Esports. They have that Impaler camp. We'll be able to get a little bit of poke onto the wall. And again, they're still in a very good position in that top lane. I'm actually curious how much damage these things are going to be able to deal, because we're already at 20, almost 21 minutes into the game. These catapults are quite strong. 754 damage onto the structures. And most of this bot lane wall will get taken down just from that one push from Gen.M Esports. But again, still overall, that trade definitely favoring Magnitude Epicenter. They were able to get the mid lane fort. They were able to get most of the second mid lane wall. And it's going to be another lane they no longer need to worry about. All they need to worry about is this top lane. And that's where the next Punisher is going to be. And it's because that's where the Punisher is. That's not going to be a passive push for Gen.M Esports. That's just going to be an area where they're going to have a slight advantage, sure. But it's not going to be too meaningful. The Magnitude Epicenter are going to be in the area anyway. But now with that being said, this is an opportunity as well for Gen.M Esports to try and apply pressure on the bot side. And that's exactly what they're doing. Because they know right now what they do need to try and do is try and force Magnitude Epicenter away from the top lane. Because that top lane is going to be pressuring it no matter what. As InfoFox just dealing damage over the wall, through the wall even. But InfoFox could be in a bad spot. Now the Wrecking Ball into the back line. They have the Warlord's challenge and will get healed up a little bit. Black Hole going to get used as well, but the leap into the backline dodged by InfoFox. Patience still alive as well, but Cawthon is going to get stuck. They have the pullback, they have the drag, and the polymorph onto both. 400 HP, and the final shock ray going to be able to find them. And MDC starting to get low as well, as Odin going to get popped by Magnitude Epicenter, by Clownface. The swipes are still buying some space. Gravity Lapse gets thrown out as well, and they should be able to defend here, even 4v5. They have a lot of wave clear. As Patience starting to get taken down pretty low. Leo Rice could be looking for the play. Is in stasis. Going to dodge out on everything except the Gravity Lapse. But the drag almost lands on Mac Daddio, but another swipe was still available from Delta Sniper. Now Cawthon already taken down about a 5th HP. A lot of damage being dealt. Leo Rice looking for the drag. Not going to be able to find Mac Daddio. And the big red button going to get dropped onto Leo Rice. 20 seconds until Bones is back up. But again, look at this top lane wave. Look at this mid lane wave. These waves are building up right now for Gen.M Esports. They can continue pressuring this bot side. And with the shock rays, bit by bit, they can take it. But now the leap lands on a Cawthon. And the black hole as well, just trying to prevent the fight. Phoenix thrown out as well. And that's going to be 3 heroic abilities that just aren't going to be up for Magnitude Epicenter. And now Gen.M Esports can back away because they already have the pressure on multiple sides of the map. They're going to have Leo Rice getting started on the siege camp in the bot lane. And Magnitude Epicenter, they're just forced to push out their waves right now. That's all they can really do. As the cannon will get a little bit of damage onto the bot lane keep. And when everything's said and done, though, it was a solid defense. But again, Gen.M Esports, I don't think they wanted to take the bot lane so much as they wanted to get pressure in the bot lane. And that's exactly what they were able to accomplish for themselves. And now they're going to be able to just clear everything away. And I did forget to mention it, but Leo Rice is on Dahaka, so can pressure the bot lane. As we see on the minimap, I don't want to turn away from this screen because It does look like a team fight could break open at any moment. Now Leo Rice in the backline. Gonna get the drag onto Bones. And with the shock ray, look at the burst damage. Cawthon will be able to get the damage into the backline. But now the leap lands onto 2. And with the Phoenix, with the Oda, they have more than enough damage. Now the swipes are going to keep Leo Rice away. They're able to land the Ancient Spear. And now they have the silence as well from the Lurking Arm. But another one team fight for Magnitude Epicenter. 2 for 1 overall. And it started so well for Gen.M Esports. But the leap, the Odin, and just all the damage that Mac Daddy was able to deal in those situations really coming through clutch. Now there is a bit of a passive push happening in the bot lane. So this could be a threat and on a keep. And actually, I think with Kobo and Leo Rice running there, they should be able to take the keep. But the question is, how much can Magnitude Epicenter get as a reply in this top side? Because this keep definitely going to be going down here. Leo Rice is here, Kobo's here. They'll have more than enough damage from these cannons, from these impalers. MDC can clear the rest so it doesn't threaten the core. But the keep will definitely be going down. And now the Mortal Punisher already pushing on the top side. And look how fast this fort goes down. Now the push will still be coming through. MDC actually going to mount up, and they're running over to the top side. I don't want to jinx that. I don't want to call it out, but it looks like Magnitude Epicenter, they want to try and end the game here. This is a solid opportunity for them. And now they're hitting on to Leo Rice. The Punisher is still pretty healthy. 70% HP down to 60 now. Phoenix going to use for zoning. Bones going to get hit with a drag. Or that's not Bones, that's Clownface. That is a major target to get down. And I no longer think that Magnitude Epicenter can try and threaten to end the game. Cawthon is in the backline, Leap in the backline as well, as both sides just kind of trading front to back. But it is going to be the 1-for-0 so far for Magnitude Epicenter. But MDC gets sniped out by Kobo. That shock ray dealing so much damage. And their keep will be left alive in the top lane, just barely, as it is a 2-for-1 for them all day. Now it is max stacks on that static charge. It is max stacks for Kobo. But now there's only one keep left alive for Magnitude Epicenter. It's going to be 30 seconds until they do have Clownface back, as Leo Rice could be looking forward. Not going to land the drag. Bones had the Unstoppable ready as well. So with that, this is going to be their opportunity to try and take the third and final keep from the side of Magnitude Epicenter. And if they're able to get it, again, the pressure that they're going to be able to exert on the map is going to be extremely high. But I think everyone can tell already, Magnitude Epicenter's team fight this late into the game is a bit more powerful. However, if Gen.M Esports, if Leo Rice is able to get a good drag, it can absolutely change it. If they're able to get that single pick off, then they can fight, as Bones almost gets hit by the cursed bullet. But it's not a long cooldown, it's 30 seconds, so may as well throw it out whenever. But Gen.M Esports going to back away. It is 5v5 on the map again, as both sides looking to take their camps. Bones will get started on the left siege camp, right siege camp already getting started by Gen.M Esports. They should be able to clear out these impalers very quickly. Looks like Magnitude Epicenter, they're looking to fight. And now the siege camp is going to be gone. Kobo could be a great target, but the move speed is going to be their leap onto the backline. And with the silence, they're going to be able to take down Leo Rice. MDC will be able to heal back up. They're looking for Kobo as well. Kobo in a really bad spot. Groundbreaker and the swipes forcing Kobo into the wall. There's nowhere to go. And that's a 2-for-0 for Magnitude Epicenter. And now this is their opportunity. This is their play. Big red button already going to get popped through. Clownface looking for this mid lane. And actually, it looks like they're not looking for this mid lane. Well, they're going to look for this top lane keep. It is already super low. And with the big red button and with everything else that Odin can do, I think they're looking to end the game. It is 3v5 right now. This is their opportunity. Odin should be expiring soonish, though. So it will be a little bit harder to walk through. But they are lacking one of their main DPS. They are lacking one of their playmakers, but they'll leave it in the backline. They're lacking the healer now. Cawthon is still alive, trying to hide underneath, but with everything, with the lurking arm, with all the damage coming through, it is going to be a 4-for-0 Bones starting at low, saving Clownface. InfoFox is only there 300 HP, but I think that's going to be it. I think Magnitude Epicenter, they should be able to end the game here, as then one more reset cancel coming through. And now Leo Rice is available. Phoenix going to take down InfoFox, as MDC going to get rooted up, and the core actually dealing a bit of damage. As what? No way! I am speechless. Gen.M Esports, they win that game. They had the cannons all along. I didn't even notice. I genuinely thought that was lag. I genuinely thought my heroes crashed, and that's why it had that noise. But no, Gen.M Esports, they're gonna come out on top. They have not what I expected, not how I expected this game to end, but Gen.M Esports, they get their win. They're tied for 8th now, but they still have a game 3. They could take 8th for themselves. So we are going to go to a short break, and when we come back, it is going to be game number 3. Oh my word, but yeah, see you soon. All right, welcome back, everyone, and welcome to the third and final game of the series between Magnitude Epicenter and Gen.M Esports. Oku, you did say at the start you wanted a good series today, and I think the players have delivered so far. I mean, especially that Game 2 ending. I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen anything so close, and I don't know about the rest of you, but I was completely taken aback. I was not ready for the Winions to come through. But Game 3, gonna be on Battlefield of Eternity, gonna be that big team fighting map. And so far, we have seen both sides are able to win fights, so gonna be a close one. Gen.M Esports, they're still happy with their Stitches and Uther ban. But Magnitude Epicenter, they're gonna ban the Joanna, but the Blaze not gonna get banned this time around. They're gonna ban away the Dahaka instead, deciding that Leo Rice's drags definitely made the game harder for them. And I think that's true. Leo Rice got so many very clutch drags, and they were just able to win a lot of team fights off of that. Just getting the one pick off early, take control of the zone, and win from there. And Hoku, it is going to be there for you, at least the Blaze. Got to get locked in for Leo Rice. And I think that's going to be a pretty solid pick for them. For Gen.M Esports, there's a reason why it was banned against them to begin with. Both Game 1 and Game 2, Blaze was removed from the pool. And they were going to be in a position to kind of play into it. They're going to have good pressure in the offlane. They're going to have good engage potential as well. But now Clownface is going to lock in the Vala, and Delta Sniper going to lock in the Stukov. So will be Mac Daddio playing the carry role again. Now Vala, assuming it is the Hungering Arrow talent, will be incredibly good at that level 7 mark. Will be able to absolutely shred through the Immortals. And once that level 20 does come in with those triple vaults, will be the #1 racer for this map. But now Kobo on the Tassadar again, and Brightwing again for Patience. It definitely worked out in the previous game. It's definitely working out real well for them. And I like that they took those picks. I think it's going to be able to work out for them. Again, they're going to have the extra healing coming out from Patience. They're going to have the poke from Kobo. And Kobo, assuming it's the Psionic Storm build, I don't know if Kobo will do that or, again, go the Shocker for the teamfight build. I can raise decently well as well. It's not as good as the Vala, obviously, but has some pretty meaningful damage. But now Diablo going to get banned by Magnitude Epicenter. And it is pretty interesting. Neither side has picked a tank yet. I believe last time they did pick them pretty early on. And the Sonya going to get banned away. MDC played it a little bit too well. But insta-locking the Chen. That's an interesting one. Now, I'm assuming this will be the Wandering Keg build, not the Storm, Earth and Fire, Storm, Wind and Fire. I don't know. The triple one. And yes. So I have seen Chen played as a main tank, as the main tank a few times before as well. But most likely it is going to be Bones playing main tank on something else, unless they are just trying to bait everyone in by locking it down on MDC. But either way, Wandering Keg will be able to buy a lot of space. And Li Ming going to get locked in for Mac Daddio, also one of the best racers on the map. I think Gen.M Esports, they do need to pick something that can DPS onto the Immortals. Something like the Greymane or the Rainer, just anything that's got to be good on that. And it is going to be Varian and Tychus. Now again, Tychus, kind of in the same vein as Tassadar, can damage the Immortal, but not one of the stronger racers. It does look like Gen.M Esports, they are kind of gearing up to teamfight. They have the Varian for Cawthon, they have the Blaze for Leo Rice. So I think this is a good opportunity for them to just try and force out team fights, but into a Chen, it's a bit hard. MDC will be able to zone them away, assuming with the Wandering Keg, also going to be able to split off the team fight. And whenever a team fight split, it definitely favors the team that has the better racing potential. As Muradin going to be the final pick for Bones on this Battlefield of Eternity map. Now, again, this is going to be one of those maps. This is where the real fights are going to be coming through. There's a massive arena in the mid lane, just for both these two teams to brawl as hard as they can. Gen.M Esports, if they win this game, they do get 8th place just to themselves and keep their playoff hopes alive and well. But we'll see how it goes as we head into the final Game 3. Alright, and here we are. Map number 3, Battlefield of Eternity between Magnitude Epicenter and Gen.M Esports. Now, I think I've kind of hinted towards that when I was talking about the draft, but I think I do favor Magnitude Epicenter's draft here. I think the Chen especially makes everything that Gen.M Esports wants to do a little bit difficult. And it is going to be the Hungering Arrow build coming out. Puncturing Arrow already locked in for Clownface. And just, they have 2 racing heroes that are better than either of the racing heroes on the side of Gen.M Esports. And I think that's going to be so difficult for Gen.M Esports to be able to reply to. And incidentally, it is going to be third wind coming out for Bones. I think it does make sense. It's mostly burst damage coming out of Gen.M Esports. Infofox going to be constantly hitting with the minigun, so the armor doesn't really benefit that much, as the extra healing is going to be coming through. But now both sides just going to start grouping towards the bot lane. It looks like the initial push is going to be there for Magnitude Epicenter. As Bones is going to walk forward, just trying to take that little health orb. And we'll be able to just survive. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's a Murd and has a lot of sustain as Infofox gets taken down to about half HP after the phase shift anyway. That's going to be good DPS, good poke coming out of Magnitude Epicenter. Now, it is going to take level 4 before Gen.M Esports actually has a frontline tank. Cawthon not very tanky until that taunt does come through. And now they are going to continue pushing. Bones going to land the Stormbolt onto Cawthon and has a Lurking Arm follow up as well. And they're just taking full control of this bot lane. It's actually Macdadio gets taken down pretty low by Infofox, but Infofox might have stood a little bit too far up. Going to start DPSing onto Bones. And will be able to back away. Manages to sidestep the next Stormbolt. And that will be enough to keep Infofox alive. As the grenade gets tossed into the brush. Not going to be able to find anyone except Bones. As Shockwave over top. And instantly it is the static charge again. Bones starting to get taken down a little bit low actually. And with 70 HP, the overkill just barely out of range. But they're not able to find it. And now they will have the extra healing coming through. And they will be able to take the siege camp on the side of Magnitude Epicenter. So really well played. I'm actually surprised that Gen.M Esports didn't try to force onto Bones a little bit harder. I think that could have been a very solid pick for them. And after they take down the main frontline tank, Macdadio was super squishy. Same with Clownface. They are very strong in terms of DPS. But even so, as Infofox may have stepped in a bit too far forward again. They have a Lurking Arm. But not going to be able to find the Tychus over in the backline. But they will be able to get some damage onto the wall. Level 4 is still not there. Gen.M Esports are going to be able to get it pretty soon, but the shock ray dealing a lot of damage over the backline. And again, I expect Gen.M Esports is going to be aiming to teamfight once these races do begin, or at the very least looking for a pickoff. But now Taunt should be coming through for Cawthon. And once that gets selected, now they can start playing for pickoffs. Now they can start playing aggressively. Because that is something they've been missing. Infofox has already been positioning very aggro. And it's been working out. It has been getting a lot of pressure onto Macdadio, onto Clownface. And now the Bruiser Camp is going to get finished off by Magnitude Epicenter. As their carries will reset to get that max mana, to get that max HP. As the Immortals will respawn. Now Patience still needs to heal up a bit. But again, with that passive healing, should be able to get there. As now Leo Race and MDC still going to be trading with the top side. But now the racing begins. But again, it's really hard to compare these two races because right now, Magnitude Epicenter, even before level 7, should still be quite a bit better at it. Thanks to Macdadio, and just overall, Vala is just so strong. 3K difference. Now the next positioning is going to be that offensive position. Yeah, this is just Magnitude Epicenters. Unless Gen.M Esports can start a fight early on. Now they do find the taunt and the polymorph onto Bones, and they will be able to finish off Bones. But look at the damage already done to the Immortal, already sitting at 3K. Leo Rice in the backline looking for Delta Sniper. They have the damage. They're looking for the Stukov, and they will be able to find it 2-0. But who's going to be taking down the Immortal right now? Because Macdadio is still going to be trying to damage over the top lane. As they're sending both Infofox and Kobo over to the backline, but Clownface gonna vault in, just start DPSing onto the Immortal. Less than 2K HP, still 10K left for Gen.M Esports to do. Now they are trying to zone away, but it's early game. The respawn timers are so low. Bones is back up, and MDC is jumping into the middle, and they will be able to take the Immortals. But now the taunt onto MDC. They will be able to trade 1-0. Cawthon still alive, is protected, and now the Silence just dealing a lot of damage, but the healing is there. But the Immortal also there for Magnitude Epicenter. And how do I put this lightly? This was before the level 7 talent for the Vala. It's only going to get worse. The racing difference is benefiting Magnitude Epicenter by so much. It's such a difficult draft for them to play. But at the same time, Gen.M Esports, they showed they can teamfight. They showed they have the draft for it. They do find the taunt onto Bones. And lots of burst damage, but Infofox starting to get low. And with the teleport, Macdadio going to be able to get that kill. It gets a little bit of burst damage on the Cawthon as well. Now the wall already getting taken down for the most part. And between Delta Sniper, Bones, and the Immortal, they will be able to finish off the entire wall. And now they're looking for that fort. It's already going to get taken down about half HP. They have the taunt. They have the polymorph. And Bones will be able to get away at 150 HP. Very barely able to get back to safety. But again, Magnitude Epicenter, they will be able to take down this fort. And with that, it makes it even harder for Gen.M Esports because whenever you play the teamfight composition, you're focused on fighting. You're not focused on taking down the Immortal. So even if they do win the fight, they need to get back and then start hitting the Immortal, by which point the waves are going to be pushed into them in the top side. They're going to have that passive push coming from those cannons on the side of Magnitude Epicenter. I don't know. I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but the draft is just so much easier to execute on the side of Magnitude. Now Cawthon could be looking for a play. Sees Magdadio, finds the taunt, but no damage available over top, as now they do have the stun. Cawthon could be in a bad spot as well. Bones trying to jump up over top. Phase shift will be there, and now this could be an opportunity for Gen.M Esports to fight. They're not in a bad position. However, they do want to back away instead, and that is going to be another siege camp going over the wave, Magnitude Epicenter. Now Leo Rice still trading with MDC over in the bottom lane, but it's important to note that Chen does struggle for double soak, but never mind. Hold that thought. It's Cawthon gonna get burst down, and Bones still looking. They're looking for patience. Arcane Orb not gonna land. Neither will the Shockwave, though, so it is just going to be the 1-for-0. But Magnitude Epicenter, they get the pick into the Varian team comp. And now they're going to keep pushing into the top lane. They have a cannon. They have an Impaler. They're ready to get that extra pressure, and they're ready to get set up for the Immortals. As how MVC is still going to be able to get positioning over in the bot lane. And as I was going to say, when you're the Chen player, it's definitely hard if you need to double soak. But on these 2-lane maps, Chen can really duel into most of those common meta offlaners, as a lot of self-sustain has a decent amount of damage as well. As a Bruiser Camp is going to get finished off for Magnitude Epicenter, and now they can just start the race immediately. And again, just look at this health bar in the bottom right. I mean, that took them like, what, 5-10 seconds to get into halftime? And that's, again, before the level 20s come out. Once level 20s come out, Clownface going to absolutely wreck through it. And now they find the Stormbolt onto Leo Rice. And now the bunker is there as well. But at the same time, they are going to be able to take down MVC. So offlane for offlane. And now they have the Draken Laser Drill just buying a little bit of space, a little bit of time. But again, it's the same kind of situation. Doesn't matter how well the team fight goes. Magnitude Epicenter, they're still going to be able to DPS onto these Immortals. Now, Infofox trying to tank up the bit of damage that they do have, but they can't do anything with it. They are moving forward. They do have the taunt, looking for Bones. But again, it is the main tank. Infofox diving into Magdadio, but Magdadio has a teleport, able to get back to safety. And over in the top side, Clownface will clear the Bruiser Camp, as Kobo was doing the same in the bot lane. Now, Kobo gonna start racing a little bit. But again, it's just so difficult. MDC with the Watering Keg, it's gonna buy so much space. And this was a strat that I was saying. Oh, they're always able to get the jump propulsion. Now, Bones does throw out the Avatar. Going to be in a bad spot. Forced to jump away. But it might be a little bit too late. Rain of Vengeance buys so much space. Clownface with the second one. And the Disintegrate happening over the backline. They will win the Immortal fight. And now the taunt over to the backline. Bones will be the first to go down. But they are starting to get a little bit low. Magnitude Epicenter, they're still playing forward. MDC jumps onto Infofox. But Kobo could be there. Will be able to help out. Black Hole going to prevent the rest of the team fight, as the phase shift will come through. Now Cawthon, they're aiming. Clownface may have vaulted a little bit too far forward, but will be able to back away to safety. MDC still jumping onto Cawthon. They have the taunt, and one more hit. Disintegrate, not going to be their Shockwave. Just dealing damage. Clownface super low as well. But while the team fight's happening, the Immortal is pushing this bot lane, already gone, the wall anyway. And now the fort is going to get started, and it's still in ranged form going into this. Now the Stomp is going to be there, not going to be able to accomplish too much more with the ranged form. But the melee form might be able to finish off this structure. Now the stun is there. They're looking for Leo Rice. Rain of Vengeance is there. But the taunt onto Clownface. That's going to be a pretty big pickoff. And now Shocker will buy a little bit of space, a little bit of time. But again, this Immortal's just so strong. One more hit, and that will be their bot fort. But the Arcane Orb is there instead, coming out of Magdadio. The Magnitude Epicenter, they're definitely losing the fights, but the racing potential for Magnitude Epicenter is just so high, as Infofox takes a massive burst from Magdadio. As Cawthon could be looking for a play. We'll find the taunt onto Bones. They have the Polymorph as well. A lot of damage, and Bones actually will get taken down. Very well CC layered by Gen.M Esports. And with that, they will at least be able to take the siege camp. But in the top side, there will be a fight over this. And with the Wandering Keg, MDC should be able to just secure that one for free. And we'll be able to just roll back to safety. So it will be a vertical trade of those siege camps. And now the real fight is going to be onto this wall. Now, Gen.M Esports finally getting a little bit of structural damage. They need it really bad. And the damage from Kobo, the Shocker, already at 110. And kind of a mixed build here. Does go the Static Charge first, and the Psionic Storm for some of the other abilities as well. Shocker also dealing damage, but they do have the taunt. They do have it on to Clownface. And that's going to be another big pick-off for Gen.M Esports, and they can just keep pushing. Now taunt will be up in 8 seconds, so they could keep looking to push. They could keep looking to fight. And they're clearly able to burst down whoever they want as long as the minigun's available. But they're starting to play further back. Cawthon trying to force a fight, looking for the taunt. It is going to be on to Bones. Another disintegrate happening over top. Bones is getting hit up as well. Swipe gonna keep them alive. And Cawthon and Infofox gonna get taken down not super low, but good damage as another poke from MacDaddio is going to be coming through. Arcane Orb not going to find the target. But there will be good positioning for Magnitude Epicenter. However, Gen.M Esports finally getting something for themselves. And this spawn should favor them early on, because this is one where they can easily fight and start pressing forward. Now, with this teamfight composition, surprisingly, late game might be beneficial for Gen.M Esports, as both sides do take their bruiser camps. Because what they can do is they can pick off 1, maybe 2, and then it gets difficult for them because the race is already over. However, with the long respawn timers, this could be a strong opportunity for them. But now they're looking into the backline. Cawthon going to get hit into the backline. Rain of Vengeance is going to be their patience. Now to bad spot. Jet Propulsion lands on a 3. Same with the black hole, but now Cawthon is gone. Can they still win the team fight? They have the shock ray going out over top. And this is where you want to fight on Gen.M Esports. You want to fight on the enemy Immortal. But unfortunately, they do lose the fight. They lose Cawthon. And now then the next team fight could be breaking through here as well. Shocker at 150 stacks will be able to deal quite a bit of damage. But the healing, the shielding from MDC is going to be there. Don't underestimate the shielding coming out from a Chen. And now this was the best possible spawn for Gen.M Esports. And they showed why. Because if you're fighting over the enemy Immortal, you're getting damage onto their Immortal while you fight. But now the next spawn definitely favoring Magnitude Epicenter. They're already in the top side. By the time Gen.M Esports gets there, this Immortal should be gone. Now, they could try and teamfight afterwards. Bone's going to get stunned up. They're looking for the Tom Polymorph as well. Bone's going to get taken down decently low, but again, they're just not able to find anything else. MDC going to get taunted now. Rain of Vengeance as well. And MDC still alive. Leo Rice looking for more. Jet Propulsion not going to find the stun. So they're not going to be able to get anything out of this. Maybe a little bit of poke damage onto the wall, but that's really it. But the Immortal spawning in the bot side with so much shielding. Now this is going to be a very good opportunity for them. Kobo going to get stunned up into the back line. They're still fighting it. A little bit of lag. I apologize, but MacDaddio going to get hit by the Jet Propulsion. Clownface will get burst down. They have the taunt. They have the burst. And now they're looking for Bones. The Polymorph is there as well and will jump towards MDC. But the longer they're fighting onto Bones, the more damage this Immortal's getting. So it is a 2-0, but the bot lane wall already in a bad spot now. Jack and Laser Drill gonna get thrown down. And with the shock ray, with everything else, they will be able to clear the wave. But can they clear out this Immortal? Now the Stomp gonna be dealing quite a bit of damage as well. Arcane Orbs as well. MacDaddio just able to deal so much damage from a distance. And the Immortal will be able to finish off the wall. It doesn't look like they will be able to get too much damage onto the keep. So this isn't the worst spot for Gen.M Esports. And they have been showing signs of life. If that teamfight happened just a little bit earlier, I think they could have maybe tried to just win the rest of that teamfight. Just been able to win over that Immortal. But now Cawthon, walking forward, they're going to be hiding in that brush. And we'll be able to dodge the poke from MacDaddio. So there should be a siege camp going over to Gen.M Esports. But again, what can they really do with it? Cawthon looking forward, looking for the stun. But again, the Stormbolt just going to be there instead. Cawthon already at half HP. But what I do want to point out, it is the Hyper Shift, by the way. So Patience can kind of spam it out to some extent whenever there is a wave around anyway. As a banner going to get thrown down. Not going to find anyone quite yet. Leo Rice looking in the off lane. From the back side, as they are bringing all 5 members down, and now they are looking to just force down onto this bottom fort. It is 5v4. MDC is trying to take the camp in the top side, but now they have the size on the Leo Rice and the Disintegrate as well. But now Bone's gonna get taunted up. Rain of Vengeance is there to prevent any kind of follow. But now they're on to Infofox. Infofox able to jump away in time. Leo Rice still alive. Clownface is trying to DPS onto everyone. And with the 4th, they're able to back away, but it's still a 1-0. They have the Psionic Storm, and with the Shock Ray, they will be able to take down the structure, as now the root is there. MacDaddio playing forward, but they have the Jet Propulsion, and they have everything. They're able to take down MacDaddio. And that's a massive pick off. 2-0 so far for Gen.M Esports, but there's no reason why they can't keep pushing this bot thing. They have been able to take the fort, and now they can take this wall as well. They have the banner to just tank up the cannon towers as Clownface DPS Leo Rice over the top, and now they have The Wandering Keg as well from MDC puts Cawthon in a pretty bad spot, but they will be able to just back it up. And now again, this is the good spawn for Gen.M Esports, and they're just going to start the race immediately. But I think even if they do get the halftime for free, it's still going to be so difficult for them to win the race. Like, that's just how big the difference is. Ooh, I actually don't like the laser drill getting thrown out for this part. I would have liked to see them save it for that second half, but either way, they will be able to maintain control for now. As now they just need a DPS, 16.5k. Can they do it? And it looks like Magnitude Epicenter, they don't want to try racing. They want to try fighting. And now this could be an interesting move for them as well. MDC is on the way, has already cleared out the top side. Cawthon still in the backline. They have the route onto the backline, and they're going to be able to finish off the healer by Mac Daniel. Also 200 HP, but the swipes and the Wandering Keg able to keep Info Fox away. And now the fight is happening over into the backline. Jet Propulsion as well. MDC starting to get low. Same with Bones, but none of them will get taken down entirely. Leo Rice still auto-attacking through. Jet Propulsion will land, and Leo Rice will get saved by the Facial just in time. But look at the damage from Mac Daniel. They're able to take down everyone. Cawthon still looking with the taunt on Mac Daniel, but MDC still trading with Infofox. Infofox will be able to trade back one, but that's a 5-for-1. And now Magnitude Epicenter, they're definitely going to be able to get the Immortal. I'm actually surprised they're not going to try and end the game. They have a solid wave in the bot lane, but maybe with this Immortal, they can threaten to end the game anyway. This is a great spot for them to be in. It's not going to be the highest shielded Immortal, but again, they're just able to win out super hard in these plays. As now Bones also going to get started on the Bruiser Camp at the same time. The other Bruiser Camp going to finish off this bot lane keep. So this will be both keeps definitely going down for Gen.M Esports. Magnitude Epicenter, massive advantage after this play. They should get level 20s here as well. And that will be an absolute opportunity to end here. They actually have a pretty big wave here already before the Immortals even got in here. And they have so much damage able to land and onto these structures. The cannon tower already going to be gone before the keep even gets started upon. And with this wave, with this Bruiser Camp, they have a cannon as well. And they have a Li Ming. And they have the triple vault now. The Acrobat Town getting locked in for Clownface will also give quite a bit of safety. As now the team fight could be breaking open any moment now. The Draken Laser Drill going to get thrown down. They are trying to clear away this Immortal before it's able to get onto the core. And now Clownface finds the taunt. Or Cawthon finds out on Clownface, but now Patience is in the backline. Gets thrown even further away. There's nowhere to blink heal to. So that is going to be the Bright Wing gone. Already 78% left on the core. They have the root in the backline. Clownface just DPSing as hard as possible. Will get rooted by the core. And now the bunker is there to keep them alive. But can they keep the core alive? And I don't think so. I think that's going to be it. And Magnitude Epicenter, they do win this series. They get that 2-1. And another close game. Gen.M Esports definitely brought out some pretty good fights, but unfortunately just not enough to prevail. I maintain it was definitely difficult for them to fight into the Li Ming, into the Vala. Just so much raising potential from the side of Magnitude Epicenter. They had a good showing, and they did get their 1 point, so they are tied for 8th place. I believe they're still behind by domination. Or actually looking at that, no, it's about even. So, Points Donation Squad and Gen.M. I'm not sure. I think there is a tiebreaker between them, but it is very close, and both of those sides going to have one more game for the season. It will be interesting to see how that goes. But now, with that being said, I believe it is time for an interview. Let me get back into the center. Y'all don't even know this, but like my monitor setup's like skewed off. I'll try and get my setup better for future events, but no promises. The table I wanted to order went out of stock the day I moved, so that's a bit unfortunate. Let me catch some team. All right, the team has been invited for it, and actually already in. Hello, hello. How are you doing today?
Well, we're doing pretty good.
All right, well, for everyone...
Nomination this weekend, and this locks us up for the number 5 seed for playoffs, so it was a good series for us.
Yeah, definitely a massive congratulations. And for everyone in chat, I am joined here by MDC, the captain of Magnitude Epicenter, was playing in that off lane. And okay, so like you already brought up yourself, with this you lock in 5th place. I think you locked it in as soon as you got that 1 point for yourself. So is
We
that
did.
something
We did
that,
after the first game.
yeah, is that something that matters a lot to your team, or are you happy with 5th or 6th?
It's kind of irrelevant, honestly. I mean, we always want to win as many as we can. I mean, the higher seed we can get, the better. But it's not like if we fell to 6 or whatnot that, or if we got, I think it came from behind. That was chased. They could still pass us. I mean, whether we're 5th or 6th, it's doesn't matter. But we're happy with 5th.
All right. I mean, that's what's important. I mean, we've seen some major playoff runs from many, many teams in NGS history, regardless of their starting ranks. So, gonna be fun to watch. Now,
Absolutely.
I hate to do this as one of my first questions, but walk me through the ending of Game 2 there.
I think it's just a kind of a lapse in judgment. They were winning the game up until we got 20, and I felt like we started to win team fights a little bit more handily. We certainly had the opportunity to stay in the game and press through and win, but obviously we didn't see the cats coming in the core. I mean, we knew about it coming into the fight, but then I think we got kind of zeroed in once we got to the core, and that was that. I mean, it was just a bad mistake. There's no great explanation around it. We just screwed up.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. And like you said, this doesn't affect your placements. You already got the map win. So at the very least, it's a good lesson. And I think everyone's gotten lost in the sauce before. So,
Yeah,
I mean, no
sure.
harm, no foul in the end, right? You still won the series. You still got that 2-1. And what were your thoughts on Gen.M today? Because in my opinion, I think they looked pretty good.
No, I mean, first of all, just a shout out. I mean, if anyone's ever scheduled through NGS, it's an absolute nightmare to do it. These guys were like proactive, pinged us early, were super flexible on time. I mean, that's always a hard thing to find, and they're about as nice a dudes as you can get. So just a shout out to them to make this super simple and appreciative of their flexibility. And honestly, looking at their record, I'm actually a little surprised. I mean, they definitely play a lot stronger than that. So I kind of hope they make the playoffs and kind of get that eighth seed if they can, back into it or whatever. I mean, that would be pretty cool. I mean, they're a good group of dudes.
Yeah, playoffs definitely going to be interesting for that because I believe right now they're tied with 8th place. They have the same number of games won, same number of points, same number of matches remaining. I'm not sure what the tiebreaker is looking at, but it's between them and Points Donation Squad for that 8th seed. But now
Yeah,
let's talk about your matchups though, because right now it does seem like most likely you will be playing under noob management, unless
yeah.
they're able to get some kind of a win in their last or domination in their last series. But what are your thoughts on that roster?
I think they're the first. It was our first match of the season, and I think we lost 2-1. So, it was a close match. But, as the season goes, we evolve quite a bit. So I would look forward to the matchup. But they're a strong team. But I think we can put up a good fight and potentially get that win.
Now, with this being your last best of 3 game, how do you think you will evolve into those best of 5s? Do you think this is something that will benefit your team, or do you think the best of 3s were a better spot for you?
I like the best of 5. I always do because it allows you to get deep into the map pool, right? So, after the 4 bands and you're, especially if the series goes deep, it really lets you stretch your legs. And I feel like our team is pretty consistent throughout. We don't really have any what I would consider weak maps. So as such, a best of 5 may benefit us. I don't think it's like a huge advantage, but certainly we look forward to it.
All right. And one final question before my usual final question. So, as you may or may not have seen, the PTR patch notes did drop earlier today. And historically, it goes live within 2 to 3 weeks. So, that will happen if you are still in playoffs during the playoffs. Do you think that's going to really change things for your team, or for you, it doesn't really matter?
I don't think it really matters. We're pretty flexible in our hero pool. I mean, I might be saying the wrong thing. I haven't really studied all of the changes yet, so I think Genji got a little buff. I think Zag 16 got a little bit of a nerf. I mean, I mean, I would say certainly it does impact the game, but it doesn't seem like it's like a huge swing one way or the other. Just to be fair.
All right. Well, thanks for answering that. And then my usual final question: is there anything you'd like to say to your fans out there? Any shout outs you'd like to give?
Give a shout out to Clown for not going the bigger they are in the match with Tychus. So I'm sure that makes Delta and the boys happy. Just giving them a little jab there. It's a little inside joke we got going. But no, our tank Bones literally was like in the ER last night with like stomach food junk going on, food poisoning. I don't know what was going on, but he's a warrior, showed up and tanked it up for us tonight. So a big shout out to him. So,
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear
and
that.
then,
Hope they get better.
but I saw Fig in chat. So Fig's always on standby. He's a great teammate sub. So if he plays next season, whether he's with us or not, he's a great addition for anybody to pick up. He's very dedicated and a great communicator. So just throwing that out there as well. So, but outside of that, we're just looking forward to playoffs and really appreciate the guys. I mean, if anyone's been on an NGS team, there's always adversity throughout a season. It's just natural. You get, five people together, and we've got our ups and downs, and I think we're back at a peak right now. So just appreciate the team, and we're having fun with it right now. So
And
that.
no better time to peak than right now.
So, and shout out to you. I mean, we really always appreciate the cast. It's great to always watch the replay and get some folks to watch and get family to watch. So sincerely appreciate you taking the time to do it, and hopefully we get picked up in the playoffs as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you will. Playoffs are usually pretty competitive for the casters. I'll tell you that right now. And if you do rewatch the VOD, I do apologize. This was a little bit scuffed. I think I had a little bit of lag in the middle of it. Still trying to figure out my setup, but
I'm sure it's just fine.